Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rekha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessing, and safety to all the Akim out there pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth and to the hopeful elect out there. This is the brother Abadir coming back at you with another one. And you know, Trump is he's letting loose on the people, his troops down there. And this headline is from the Milwaukee Independent, and it reads, Trump's federalized troops are shooting American citizens, and Americans seem okay with the violence. And this violence is just going to increase. You know, Jacob's trouble, you know, is slowly, picking up. It's slowly starting. You know, this is just the beginning, of what's to come. When that MOTB is made mandatory, when martial law is an everyday thing, when there's curfews every day, you people out there are going to be judged. You're going to fall into the hands, of these troops, and you're not going to comply, and it's just going to be a crazy time. We see this image right here, and what people don't realize is a lot of these troops, a lot of these ICE agents, these quote unquote American soldiers. Some of them are not even American. Some of them are not American citizens. That's why they don't give a shit about you Americans, and they don't give a shit to just gun you down right there. You don't want to listen, you get shot. You get put in the back of the van. You get the shit kicked out of you. You get thrown into concentration camps. And the prophets of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai have been warning Israel of what is to come. That these type of events and these type of things are going to increase. And as we gear towards that hour of temptation, that chip. So Trump's federal power is once again spilling into American streets. What began under the guise of immigration, and that's the thing, they're using this immigration thing, as a way of, deploying their troops, as a as a as a way, as a concern for safety, and it's all set up. You had Biden in office, letting everyone in, and now Trump's in office, and he's cracking down on all these people that are here, and he's gonna target the tribes, the southern and northern tribes. That's who Esau really wants at the end of the day. And yes, you other Edomites and other nations are gonna get caught up into it, but they're after Jake. So Trump's federal power is under his power. Trump's federal power is once again spilling into American streets. What began under the guise of immigration enforcement has evolved into open military intervention against civilians, raising the question of how much violence against American citizens the American public is willing to accept. As this continues to happen more and more, it's going to cause people to get in an uproar. It's going to cause people to want to riot, protest, or take matters into their own hands. And all these things are a prophecy right now. We're living in the time of prophecy. This is Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. So, Esau knows his time is running out, and he's using Trump to forward their agenda and, come down with the hammer. They see the chariots in the sky. They see what's going on out there. They know that Yahweh Shai is close to returning. They know. So they gotta come with it. And we want them to come with it. We want them to come with their sea hip, you know. We want it because we know, salvation comes with these things. When these things start to happen and these things start to take place, these are all signs that show the prophets that Yahweh Shai is almost here. And these are things that starting with the apostles, have been warning for years, saying that these things were going to happen, and now it's right in our face. We're living in it. This is 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. So, these troops are in the streets, and eventually they're going to come after us. They're going to come after the prophets. They're going to deem what we're saying, against their law. That you're seeing the freedom of speech. That's being taken away. You got to watch what you say. You can't just say anything you want. And this devil is getting ready to come down. Come down with great wrath. This devil's getting ready to to use his weapon, which is a sword, upon the people. And that's why we got to get right with Yahweh Shem Shai. Yahweh Shem Shai is the only thing that is gonna save us in these times to come. Things ain't getting better. People keep thinking that things are going to get better. No, things are only gonna get worse. Ever since really 2020, shit's just been downhill. Not to say that things weren't bad before 2020, because they were, but that's a big staple point in which things drastically began to change, you know, and they're changing, quicker than ever, you know, and then and this devil, is out here, you know, Esau don't give a fuck about you. These troops don't give a fuck about you. These troops got orders, you know. These the spirit on these people think that they doing good, you know. They're doing the work of Esau to get America in a better place. And a lot of these troops, they're racist too. They're Esau. They don't care. They don't care. We keep telling keep telling Jake, to fix up. You know, especially these YNs. These YNs think, because all the straps they got, you know, how much, how many bodies under their cap they got. You ain't messing with Esau when he comes in. And there's so many videos out there of these troops just coming into certain areas and just grabbing up people, and everyone's just staring. No one's doing nothing. No one's gonna do nothing. So 2 Ezra chapter 9, he answered me then and said, measure out the time diligently in itself, and when you seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that this is the very same time where the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So, everything that is happening now has been spoken of before, and these are all signs, The uproars continue to happen, and they're gonna get worse. They're gonna get worse. Things are gonna, you know, it could take one event, and everything is gonna change. Saw what happened in 2020, and people are on a, you know, people people's emotions right now are, are at an all time high. You know, cost of living is hard. There ain't no jobs. The killing that's been going out there. People are ready to just crash out. You know, people are ready to crash out on this government, crash out on one another. And it's all by design. And best believe Esau's doing this shit because he wants reaction out of the people. He wants the people to be in an uproar. He wants the people to retaliate. you know he's made the first move, but he wants the people to punch back so that they can you know increase their way of force, because right now they're moving light. you know This is Matthew 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, and see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And that's all you're hearing right now. We're living in a time of war, of time of uproars and unjust and civil wars. You know that's why a movie like Civil War is such a good one. We're seeing exactly how things could play out. you know and all these are signs of the end. The end is almost here, but Jake don't care. No, Jake rather be out here doing nonsense, paying attention to nonsense, instead of focusing on what the prophets are saying, focusing on Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because that's the only way you're going to escape these troops. And best believe, when the troops come for us, we're just gonna, we ain't gonna fight. We're not gonna bear up arms. Like, just take me, do as you want, do as you will. There's gonna be there's no need to fight back. We believe in our power. We believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We believe that he has us. Anything that is set up to happen to us is through Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So we ain't gonna be out there protesting. We ain't gonna be out there, going against soldiers and whatnot. We understand the technology that Esau has. We can't fucks with that. We can't fight up against that. You know, especially not physically and carnal. You know, we trust in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. That's our power. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So that's what's happening right now. Sorrows is what's going to take place in this time. The pain of childbirth, travail pain, birth pains, that's how it's going to be. That's how people are going to feel out here when shit hits the fan. Their stomach is just going to be twisted. Not knowing what to do, not knowing what to believe. This is Isaiah 31:1. And a lot of these people, you damn people over there in America, you wanted this man in power. You wanted Trump in power. And And I don't know when people are going to realize that it don't matter who's in power. It's all the same shit. So, so you're not to put your trust in these governments. You're not to put your trust in Esau. You're not to put your trust in man. Put your trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This is Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. You went to those polls, you wanted this man in office, and now look what's happening. Now he's got troops out there in the streets, snatching people up, going into apartment buildings, snatching people up, busting down your door, scaring the shit out of you. This is what you wanted. And stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many in the horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This is that is your safe, your safe space, your safe haven is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Not trusting in the government. The government's always gonna let you down. This government is always gonna steer you wrong. He never has any good intentions. He's always out there to deceive. Don't trust. And then look, people trusted in trusted in Egypt, went down there, thought America was gonna get built back better, thought America was gonna be made great again. That place will never be made great again. That place was, that place is only coming, is only gonna get hit by missiles. That place is only gonna get engulfed in flames and be made desolate. And these things and these type of things are gonna be, keep happening. You'll hear about the troops one week and then you won't hear about them, and then they're out there again. Just gradually from state to state, until it's just a complete takeover. Or until something pops off and then Esau has to, turn up even more. So that's why Jake, gotta get right. Gotta trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, that's the only way out of this. Because you see what's happening, and these things are going to continue to happen. So, trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So that's going to do it for this video. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. And peace, blessing, and safety to all the Akim out there pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. Lord willing, this video was edifying. Until the next one, Shalom.